What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Cognition Fitness. I am at the house right now doing a little bit of editing on my laptop. And my laptop right here. You know, I couldn't wait to make this video right here. I wanted to give myself a little bit of time to just listen. I feel like people don't listen nowadays. They just try to give a opinion right away, a reaction, a feeling, whatever it is, whatever people call it nowadays. I actually gave myself 3 days to make this video. So I've been listening to the Meek Mill Championship album for the past 3 days straight, just doing my workouts at the house, in the car, driving around the city, basically everywhere. And you know, I wanted to give myself some time before I decided to put a video on YouTube explaining what I like about the album, what I don't like about the album. I'm actually logging in Tidal right now. You can see the TV. So I'm gonna be playing some songs. I know YouTube, they are very strict when it comes to the songs that you play and select on YouTube. So I may play like a snippet of each record and just give my opinion that way. I don't want to be flagged, or I don't want the video to be totally blocked where it's unviewable. So I'm just gonna be doing just a quick review, reaction of what I like, what I don't like about the album. Just going through each track. You see the track list right there: Intro, Trauma, Uptown Vibes, On Me, What's Free. I'm in Tidal right now. If you don't have a Tidal subscription, you are slacking right now. Tidal. I got Apple Music too, but Tidal to me is the best music streaming platform that you can buy. Right now it's relatively cheap. It's like $10 a month. You dig? So I'm in my living room right now. Got the tree right there. It's almost Christmas time. It's no presents though. It's no presents. So I got the tree right there, man. And back on me. I just thought that it would be nice. You know, I have a history of doing music reviews on my channel. I reviewed the Jay-Z album 444, J. Cole latest album, Drake latest album. Actually, my most viewed video is that Jay-Z review that I did last year or 2 years ago. When Jay-Z dropped? 2017. So my highest viewed video, believe it or not, it's not even a fitness video. It's a music review, music reaction, album review type of video. And you know, I like doing music reviews. I have a passion for hip hop. I have a passion to do music reviews on my channel. I kind of leave it open to do music reviews, but at the same time, I like to give some type of social analysis. I just don't like to do a music review. I like to give certain viewpoints, certain perspectives on the music and how it relates to society. So I like to package it up to give some type of intellectual type of perspective along with the music and my reaction to it. So it's not just me reviewing the music, it's me viewing the music and relating it to some type of cause, social cause that people can actually learn from and grow from. Hence the term cognition, which means to ability to learn and grow and learn new things. So that's the type of things that I like to bring to my channel as well. It's not just fitness all the time. It's a plethora of different avenues that I like to discuss. So let's get started. All right, so Meek Mill championships been delayed multiple times. People may know, people may not know. Meek Mill, earlier this year, he was in prison, falsely accused of violating his probation. So he's been in and out of jail or in and out of prison over the past 2 years, going back and forth with his probation officers and the judges. And he was wrongfully accused of violating his probation. So he went back to prison for several months. And then he recently got out in the spring, I believe, during the playoff run. The 76ers was making a playoff run during that time. So I believe it was around April or May that he got out. And when he got out, there was a lot of celebration. It was a lot of good energy around the city, especially the city of Philadelphia, especially with the team being in the playoffs and him coming home. And as soon as he got out of jail, prison, he went to the playoff game and they introduced him and the crowd went crazy. So it was a lot of energy surrounding his release, because a lot of people knew that he was wrongfully sent to prison, and that's just a reflection of the criminal justice system that we currently are in right now. And being a target of the criminal justice system, Meek Mill now has the energy and the efforts to speak out against the criminal justice system and to basically be a voice of people that's falsely accused of charges that they didn't commit, or you have people that's in prison that technically should not be in prison. Having some type of alteration or change to the system is what Meek Mill is trying to implement in his music and in social justice reform. So I applaud him in being that voice in hip hop, especially coming where he comes from, the impoverished background. And he talks about that in his raps a lot, about coming from nothing and making something out of himself, which is a great message, especially towards a lot of young black males in society. Being in a position that a lot of people are in, especially a lot of young black males, and then reaching a point in his life where he can reflect and say, hey, this is what I did wrong, this is what I like to do right, and trying to be some type of influence amongst the youth. That's what I really like about Meek Mill and his change so far, even in his career, like from Flamers mixtape to Dream Chasers 1, Dream Chasers 2, Dream Chasers 3, his debut album, Dream Chasers 4, all the way up to championships. You've seen steady progress in Meek Mill's music, and I think that this championships album really captivates Meek Mill's journey, and this is just a culmination of everything that he's been through over the past 2 or 3 years, and it really shows in this album. So without further explanation, let me get into the first track. The first track is the intro. He's using a sample. This is the intro right here. Like I said before, I'm not gonna play the whole track. I'm just gonna play little snippets of it. So that's just a little snippet of it. So let me just start out by saying the tone of the album is, he sets the tone very well, like from the beginning. I always say, like, if you want to set the tone, you have to start with a tone setter, you know? You have to start with a tone setter for the duration of the album, and I thought that Meek Mill did a great job in stating what this album was going to be about, which is champions, hence the title, Championships. And you know, I love the sample. I like the energy of the record. I like the tonality. I like the flow. It's everything that you want in an intro record. And Meek Mill has a history of making great intros. His greatest record is the intro on his debut album in 2012. So you know, I expected Meek Mill to come out swinging with the intro, and he definitely did a great job in captivating the audience from the start. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people come out kind of lazy, sluggish. The production is not right. The lyrical ability is not there. And that's how you lose an audience, to be quite honest. You have to start out swinging, especially when it comes to a highly anticipated debut album, or 4 or 5 albums in, or any type of highly anticipated album. You want to start the album out right, and that's all with the tone. So I thought Meek Mill did a great job in setting the tone for the album, and it just leads up to the next record. You can't wait to hear the next record. You cannot wait to hear the next record, and that's the whole point of having an intro that's so captivating, and it draws your attention right in from the start. All right, so that's the intro. We're gonna go on to track 2. Track 2, Trauma. So, Trauma. Alright, so that record was called Trauma. I absolutely love it. Hold on, let me take this down some. So, I mean, that's self-explanatory. The title is self-explanatory. Trauma, coming from an impoverished economic situation. It just breeds certain situations where you're gonna have post-traumatic syndrome and some type of trauma effect later on in your life. Even if you have some type of access to some type of mental health advisor, at the end of the day, that stuff never leaves your body. This stuff is we grow up, it's ingrained in our bodies. It's already implemented into our souls, where either we can learn from it and grow from it and move past it and talk about it later on as we fully understand what we went through, or it's going to just stay affecting you in multiple ways where you never grow from it and you are basically trapped there. You know what I'm saying? So Trauma is a record that Meek Mill is basically explaining that, hey, I'm trying to reflect on my childhood trauma, my teenage trauma, my early adulthood trauma, all the way up until a few months ago, all the way up until April, where he was locked up. You know, it never left his life. And now he's reflecting on it and saying that, hey, this is what I went through. I'm trying to be some type of motivation to other people, where, hey, they can learn and grow from their trauma and reflect on it and address it and unpack it and be some type of light. Video just cut off. I don't know why I just did that. But we starting off the album with great energy, very introspective. He's 2 for 2 right now. He's 2 for 2. 2 great records. And now we're moving on to Uptown Vibes. Here we go. For Trauma was very introspective. This is more of a party record, which Meek Mill, he has a history of making great party records. So it was only a matter of time where he was going to introduce the party record, which is on track 3, Uptown Vibes, which is his current, I think this is his current single right now. So he's doing well on the charts. It features Fabulous. I thought Fabulous just wrote the beat very well. When you have a veteran rapper like Fabulous in the game with great lyrical ability, and you give him this beat, it's a knockout, you know. So I feel like the record works. It has a Latino vibe to it. He's been promoting a great alliance with the Black and brown community, especially with his mission of having criminal justice reform, especially because it impacts brown and black people the most compared to any other racial group. So with him incorporating this on this album, this is him basically putting out a message that, hey, black and brown together and unite in order to beat the common oppressor. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was another meaning behind this record right here, and giving that Latino vibe as well. It's just that overall message of black and brown communities coming together to fight an overall cause of criminal justice reform and overall systematic racism in America, which attacks black and brown people the most. I thought it was a great record. He 3 for 3 right now, 3 for 3. Now we're gonna go on to track 4. Let's go. All right, this is track 4. This is On Me, Meek Mill and Cardi B. Here we go. Oh, let me turn it up a little bit. You dig? Hey. This is a straight up strip club record. I ain't gonna lie, this is a strip club record. Unlike Uptown Vibes is not a strip club record. That's a club record. You gotta understand the difference between a strip club record and a club pop chart record. You know, this is a 100% girl get on the pole and pop that pussy record. You gonna hear this in a club? No, not the clubs, but you gonna hear this on the strip clubs. You gonna hear this in Vegas. You gonna hear this in Miami, Atlanta strip club. You gonna hear this in every strip club for the next year. Trust me on that. You know, you have different markets that you want to attack when it comes to an album. You know, you want to be strategic in your song play, your track list, and you know you have certain markets that you want to attack. And this is one of the markets that Meek Mill has previously attacked in his past work. So I can't be surprised that he mixed in a little strip club record, having Cardi B on the track, who was a stripper. No disrespect to Cardi B, but you know this was a market that this was a strategic market that he wanted to attack, and you know it works. Cardi B, she flames this record. This goes. It works. It works, man. That's what you want with an album. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And this one works. So, you know, Meek Mill is 4 for 4 right now. 4 for 4. You know, he hasn't missed yet. He's 4 for 4. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going to the next track. Let's go. You just gotta bop your head to this. You just gotta bop the head to this. You just gotta think and reflect and just listen. Just listen. Sometimes people need to just shut up and listen. That's a life lesson sometimes. Just shut up and just open your ears and just listen to the music. That's what this record is saying right now. Just listen.
Talking like you Mitch, disastrous on the strip. Holding on your bitch, could have never Mona Lisa to me ain't nothing but a bitch. Hanging this, God is the greatest mistake you did on your shit.
Yes.
Walk in the basement, I pray I'm illuminated. Over a decade and never nobody's favorite. Cardi Kilo go hand in hand like we get
Alright, so that's a good snippet of it, man. That's Rick Ross's part. So let me fast forward a little bit to Meek Mill's part. This is Meek Mill's part right here. I think he just catches the baton from Rick Ross and just start running with it too. This is a 3 by 200 race. And everybody's just passing the baton to each other. And Meek Mill does a great job with the energy. Ross actually got the second best verse on this track. And then Meek Mill does a great job, and then he passes it off to Jay-Z. So here we go, his Jay part.
In the land of the free where the blacks enslaved,
3/5 of a man, I believe's the phrase.
Just listen.
I'm 50% of Duce and it's dead free, yeah. 100% of Ace of Spade, worth half a beat. Rock Nation, half of that, that's my piece. 100% entitled to bust it up with my G's. Smooth, my niggas won't ever work together. You run a checker, but they never give you leverage. No red hat, no Michael and Prince, me and Ye. They separate you when you got Michael and Prince DNA. Came back, reinvested and gentrified it. Hit niggas sense of pride and how that's free. Little people stole the soul and hit niggas with 360s. I ain't gotta fill your streets, gotta fill your dollars. Look at Billboard like it's you dumb. To this day, grandma afraid what I might say. They gonna have to kill me, grandmama, I'm not the same.
Ha 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 ha.
Record speech, sold drugs, got away, scot free. That's a CCE, got me. Still me, and expect me.
Oh, God.
Free, you lay a hand on hold my shooters, shoot for free. I promise World War III. Send an order through a hand speed.
Alright, so it's a lot to unpack there. You know, it's a lot to unpack there, man. I actually had to go back. When I first heard it, the verse on Friday, I just replayed the verse 4 or 5 times, so I heard everything. Then I replayed the song in its totality. It's just a lot to unpack, man. Jay really came out. Jay didn't. I said this on my Instagram and on Facebook. Jay-Z had the best verse of the entire year. I said that. I haven't heard Jay spit like that in years. I'm talking it's been some time since Jay spit like that on the content of the record. You know, the content was so strong on the record, you know, where you had to address the record with some serious shit, with some serious bars. You couldn't get on this record and just be talking about a bunch of bullshit. You got to be on this record talking about real life situations and ways to come out of those situations and ways to become a champion, which is what the title and the theme of the album is about. What's free? What's free? That's the question. What's free? I felt like everyone did a great job. Rick Ross starts off the record with a great introspective. Rick Ross, he basically kills every verse. Every guest verse Rick Ross have done. I can't name a weak Rick Ross verse. If y'all can, comment down below, because I can't. Meek Mill, like I said before, he grabs that baton and he goes with the record. The flow, the sample, the Biggie sample. What's beef? Now it's what's free. Meek Mill did a great job. I feel like it was all leading up to that Jay-Z verse and Jay-Z delivered. The way it was set up. The way the beat just cut off. And we were just waiting. That's why I said we're waiting with anticipation. We're waiting to hear a message. Like this was a sermon. Like he took us to church. He took us to church. And we just waiting to hear what he's going to say. And he starts off with some serious bars. He makes a reference with the 3/5 compromise during the late 1700s, right after the Revolutionary War. Okay, how are we gonna start the electoral college and how are we gonna start this constitution? You blacks, y'all not even gonna be people. Y'all gonna be 3/5 of a person, and that's gonna basically 2 slaves equals 1 vote. That's basically where that comes from, the 3/5 compromise back in the 1780s, 1790s, in that time frame of what are we going to do? The South was like, okay, what are we going to do with all these slaves because they're not free? So how are we going to count or be comparative to the North, who wanted to go by the popular vote of electing presidents and electorals and whatnot, and the South was like, hey, we got all these slaves. We got a good population, but most of our population are slaves. So what are we going to do? We're going to come up with a 3/5 compromise, 3/5 of a person. I don't even know how that works, but I guess technically, if I was back in the late 1700s, I wouldn't even be 1 person. I'll be 3/5 of a person. I'll be 60% of a person, basically. So that's where that all comes from. So that reference alone lets you know that the tone and for the duration of his verse, he's gonna go somewhere. He's going with it. He's taking it there. Jay's taking it there. Like I said, Jay-Z, no matter how much money you have, he's a target of white supremacy. It doesn't matter how much money you have, who you date. the business move that you make, you will always be a target in this system. And he makes it known that, hey, on this record, this is what I'm talking about, and if you don't like it, fuck you. You know what I mean? I feel like Jay-Z may have been trapped sometimes in a cave where he has to put on this type of exclusive persona sometimes because of his fame and because of who he's married to and because of his business deals. Sometimes that can catch up to you where you have to watch what you say. And I feel like Jay just came out swinging haymakers. Like, I don't care who's gonna see this. I don't care who's gonna read this. I don't care if this is on every news channel. This is what I want to say because I'm free. And that's the whole point of the record. I'm free. What about you? Are you free? Or what's free to you? This is what's free to me. You know what I mean? It's a very, very deep record. When it first came out, it just got so much attention. It was one of the heavy draws on the album. It's the best collaboration I've heard this year, on top of being the best Jay verse. You can tell they actually took time to craft their, well, probably not Jay, but they took the production, everything was on point. They took time to craft this record and to engineer this record to where they wanted to hear it the way we hear it now. I guarantee you it didn't sound like this when they first played this record. They took time to master it, to get it to where they wanted it to be, and to feel like it's where it can be presented to the world, and for it to have a hit, you know, a mental hit. You know, this has a mental hit. This is not a club record. This is a mental hit, you know. And it's a very introspective record where it makes you think. It makes you think about society. It makes you think where you are in your life and what avenues and directions that you have to go to be a champion, which is a part of the theme. This is the overall theme of the album, a champion, being a champion. And a part of being a champion is being free. So making your own moves, being a businessman, being controlling the room. You know, sometimes people walk in the room, they get nervous, and you know, you want to walk in the room having leverage. You know what I mean? You want to be able to say, hey, I don't like this deal. This is what I want to do, and this is how I want to do it. And that's a part of being a boss. And a part of being a boss is about being free, not caring about who the fuck cares, and just doing what you want to do and doing what's at your best interest. That's a part of being free. So I feel like all three of them did a great job on this record. Basically, this is a smash hit. One of the best records I've heard this year. I'm not gonna say the best, but this is the best verse. The Jay-Z verse, that's the best verse. That's the best verse I've heard in a long time, man. Especially on that first time around. When you first heard it, you didn't expect Jay to just come out swinging like that. You like, whoa. And I heard this in the office. I was like, I'm in my office like, I was like, no, Jay. Why you doing all this in the morning? Why you doing this in the morning, man? It's too early for this, man. It's too early. I got stuff to do, man. I got plans to look at, man. I got business calls to go to, man. My mind distracted the whole day. Friday, my mind was just gone. I was a straight zombie. I was like, whoa, you know what I just heard? Crazy, ridiculous, insane. Oh, it just takes time to unpack that record, man. That's a very, very strong record. That was a strong record. So, you know, 5 for 5. He's 5 for 5 right now, and it's looking like it's an instant classic. That's what it's looking like. After you heard that, and then just wait till he does this. Just wait. This is my first initial listen to it. I was like, oh my, he gonna do this back to back? He did this back to back. This is Respect the Game.
Jumping out the world's truck with the tip tag. I'm getting money, I don't get mad. As a nigga in my hood, he gonna set it on stack. And when those situations came, I came out like a champ. When it was pouring down rain and I came out of the deck.
Did he really just get 2 legendary samples back to back like this? He had the Biggie sample and the Jay-Z sample. I was like, yo, you know, Meek is clicked in with Jay. So, and he's clicked in with Puff. So getting these samples, I was like, hold on. It wouldn't be hard for him to really get these samples. And you know, he got the Beyonce sample later on in the album where we're gonna go to later on. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Meek Mill. So getting these legendary samples have definitely elevated the album too, which is all a part of that production crew. Like his production crew was on it. His production team having these connections and integrating the sample with the flow of Meek, which is kind of, it's not an easy thing to do. Picking the right sample where it doesn't, because Meek is a fast rapper. He's not a slow rapper. He has a lot of energy with his flow. So you gotta pick the right samples to complement his tonality and his rap flow. Otherwise it may not work. So the What's Beef record works and the Respect the Game record works. So I gotta give a shout out to his production team, where it makes both entities look great. It makes the production team and Meek look great, and the samples all look great. That's another great proponent that I wanted to add about this album, that the samples is just ridiculous. Coming off of the Jay-Z verse and coming off of the What's Beef record to hit us with this. This is the best. Without features on the album, this is the best song with no features. This is the best record. Respect the Game. The game have rules. This is a lot of people are misinformed about the game. The game has changed, so we need to update our rules. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules, and it's a code to the game. That's the street game or whatever game you want to play. There's codes to it, and a lot of times people be breaking codes and doing all type of malicious shit, and you know that needs to be rectified. So we just need to bring back order to the game, and that's what this record is about. So this is the next record. So what are we, 6 for 6 right now? Honestly guys, I can kind of pass on this record. There's not a lot of records that I can pass on, but I can pass on this record. I don't like this record. I'll be honest. I don't like this record. I'm being objective. I'm not sucking Meek Mill off or Jay or Rick Ross. I'm being very objective when it comes to this review, and I don't like this record. This splash warning, that's just trash. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this remote and I'm just gonna fast forward to the next record. It's not really much to talk about this record. This is a club record. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm surprised this made the album, to be quite honest. But it is what it is. You got a couple throwaways where you can throw it on there. You may want to wait on it and release it on a mixtape, and you know, but he put it on the album. To me, it doesn't do anything to the album. It doesn't take. It's not a horrible record, but it doesn't do anything for me. So we're gonna keep it moving. We'll keep it pushing. Right, let me turn this up because this is one of my favorite records right here. This is one of my favorite records on the album right here. This is another record where you just gotta open your ears and just listen. Just listen. Just listen. Just like What's Free, Respect the Game, Championships is another record where you just gotta listen. Just listen. Just shut up and listen. Like give me some more. We went old Navy, it feel like Christian Dior. Rock for these niggas like that shit ain't hurt my mama something. Only one gon' give me commentary, even body something. See, I listen, man. Shit is deep. This record's deep. Alright, so let me talk about this record a little bit, man. This record, this first off, the saxophone. Like I said about Meek start setting tones, that sets the tone for this record. That saxophone, when that saxophone hit, so much soul in that saxophone, so much pain, so much resilience in that saxophone. I felt a lot of things in that saxophone when that came on, man. It reminded me of Triumph. It reminded me of resilience. Like I said before, it reminded me of being a champion. And that's the self-title of this record, Championships. It's the epitome of this whole album, Championships. It's about having the power, having the willpower to overcome any type of obstacle that may come in your way, any type of pain, any type of terror or horror that may come in your life. Man, hold on, let me pause it, man. This record, it has a gospel feel to it. The production, it reminds me of a Just Blaze and a Kanye at the same time. You know, the way it's produced. And, you know, a lot of comments about this record that it makes you cry. And for me, it just makes me, it motivates the hell out of me. Like when I'm in the gym, I throw this on over the past two or 3 days. I get an extra boost because of the pain. The pain helps me. I turn that pain into energy that I can use, that can make me better. You know what I mean? Cause everybody goes through shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has the perfect life. No matter if you have $1 billion, if you rich, you always have shit in your life. No matter what stage that you go to, there's always gonna be something there, and you're gonna have to face it. And if you lose, you lose. But that doesn't mean you quit. That means you get back up and you try again until you face it and pass it, and you move on to the next phase. There's always a next phase. It never stops. So we have to be championships is basically a mindset. You know what I'm saying? This is a mindset of coming from nothing to becoming something. And when you become something, you sustain it. Sustainability. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people may get to a certain stage in their life and they obtain it, but then they lose it all. And then they stuck back down at the bottom again. This is about sustainability, development, conquering what's in your way, stepping over that shit and looking down on it and saying, you ain't shit. And then you look back up and then you go back on to the next journey in your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this record resonates with so many people, because everybody goes through shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in life is easy for nobody. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So this is the epitome of the album right here, Championship. This is the epitome of Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? Ever since Dream Chasers 1, Dream Chasers 2, dream chasing. We dream chasing out here. This is a dream chase. Life is a dream chase. It never stops. You understand what I'm saying? It never stops. You keep chasing your dream. You keep chasing your goals and your aspirations and your mission statements and your business deals, your next business deal, your next move, your next phase, your next shoe deal, your next contract, your next salary range. You keep chasing it. No matter what it is, you never stop. You never settle. If you get caught into a system, into a cage, you break out of it and you keep going. That's what this record is about, man. We beating racism, beat poverty, beat the education system. Every trap that comes in your way, you can't let it stop you from becoming the best version of you. You cannot let it stop you, man. So this is why I love this record, man. It gives me energy, man. Like I said, I'm very passionate about this record right here, Championships. This is a classic record. This is gonna be around for a while. This is gonna be around for a while. Definitely, believe that. It may not be heavy on the pop charts, and I don't care about that, but this is gonna be around for a while. This is great substance. This is what I'm talking about. We talking about something here. We have a message here. We have great content here. So big ups, man. We were 6 for 7 right now. We 7 tracks in. 6 tracks are flames. No. 4 tracks are great. 3 tracks are good. Okay, great, good. And then you have 3 tracks, Championships, Respect the Game, and What's Free are flames. those tracks alone have, you know, you could end the album right there if you wanted to. If you was on if it was on Kanye West label, 7 songs, okay, we good. Cut it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next record, man. It's a change of pace here. It's featuring Drake. For those who thought Meek Mill and Drake still had some type of beef, that's been over. That's been squashed. And it just comes out on this record here, and you know, Meek Mill and Drake have a history of making good songs together. You know, despite the beef and what went on in 2017, they are 2 of the youngest and most prolific artists in the hip hop game. You know, and we don't need no beef right now. We got way too many outside oppressors that's trying to come in and enslave us. You know what I'm saying, mentally or physically. So they trying to enslave us. So we don't need any type of infighting right now. So it was great that they buried the hatchet. That beef was done with over years ago, and it's just great to see 2 young black dudes coming together, putting aside their differences, and rectifying any type of problems that they had before, and coming out and making great music. And that's what the hip hop culture needs. That's what the culture needs in general. And you know, that's a great learning tool that other people with differences can learn from. You know, all you need is a conversation. That's all it takes, is one phone call, one face-to-face conversation, and it's buried right there. At least with dudes. It just takes one conversation, one phone call, and it's done with. You know, because it's never really that serious. We worried about getting money and becoming the best version of ourselves, creating businesses, putting our niggas on and shit. Like we don't care about beefing with each other, a bunch of infighting. We don't care about that. We care about getting paper and building a brand and building a platform for ourselves and others. If you're a real nigga. So we don't got time to be worried about no beef, because that's just you wasting fucking time. And if you wasting time, you ain't making no damn money. You understand? So this was a great record. We 7 for 8. Let's move on to slow record. Kind of changes the pace from the previous records, but this is a good slow record for Meek, man. Meek is in his he's in a different bag on this record. You know, everything can be loud, and not even loud, but fast paced. And you know, this is a record for the ladies, of course. So he had to throw that on the album. Tic Tac Toe with Kodak Black. I actually like this record. I like the chorus, I like the flow of Meek Mill on this, and I love the production on this. Alright, so we're gonna move on to the next record, 24/7. This is what I talked about earlier with that Beyonce sample. Me, Myself, and I. They knocked this one out the park. And I think LMA is Atlantic. I think she signed to Atlantic. No, I'll take that back. She signed to the producer dude. I forgot his name, but they do have good chemistry together. They made a good record together. I really love this record. It fits into the album. And I think Meek actually rides this beat real good. It's a slow beat, but I think those pauses really help with this record. Those pauses right there, that really helps with this record. You gotta take your time with stuff like this. With those slow records, just take your time, feel the beat, and the flow is just reenact that. Like, Meek has been getting better with the slow records. And you know, Meek, when he first came out, it was all about, it was 100% all the time. It was just, he was rapping. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did. He was a street rapper. So I wasn't surprised when he first came out. It was just straight rapping. Wasn't really slowing it down for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? But over time and as a duration of your career and as an artist, you develop. And he's developing to making some great slow records for the ladies. This is another great introspective record, man. Similar to Championships and Respect the Game. It's another record where you just gotta feel the beat, feel the flow, and just relax and just hear it, just listen to it, just vibe. You gotta create a vibe to it. This ain't no party record where it's gonna be, where a party record will create a vibe for you. You gotta create a vibe for it. It's a difference. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next record. Pay You Back. This is another one of my favorite upbeat records with Meek Mill and 21 Savage. I thought Meek Mill went back to Dream Chasers 2 mode with this record. Especially on that last verse. It's very reminiscent of Dream Chasers 2. For those who have heard that mixtape, that was one of Meek Mill's classic mixtapes back in 2012. And for a moment, I'm like, he's still in that bag. He can still go in that bag and pull it out if he wants to. That Dream Chasers 2 flow. You know, let me just fast forward a little bit to that last verse. It's his last verse on this record. This is Dream Chasers 2 right here. That cadence. That's Dream Chasers 2 all day, man. That's Burn. Y'all heard Burn with Big Sean? Listen to that verse and go listen to this record. It's the same cadence. I thought actually that verse actually made the record a good record to me. I thought before that verse it was kind of slacking a little bit, but Meek saved that record. 100 Summers. Another slow record. It works. I know it's a good record. You know what I'm saying? I don't have too much to say about it. This is another record where I thought should have stayed off the album. I really don't like this record, I'll be honest. That With the Shits. It is what it is. Of course, when you have 19 tracks on an album, you may have one or two that may slack a little bit. And I thought this was one of the records that slacked a little bit. I'll be quite honest. I did not like this record. And it hasn't grown on me since I've listened to the album. So, you know, I'm pretty much concrete with my decision that it's trash. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean the album is trash. It doesn't mean this record is trash. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to keep it moving, though. I love this record. I think it's one of the better records towards the end of the album. Of course, towards the end of the album, I feel like the front end of the album is stronger than the back end. But this is one of the records that kind of saves the back end, especially with Stuck in My Ways. You know, we heard Dangerous already. You know, that's a good record for the radio record. And Cold Hearted 2, very good record right here. Cold Hearted 2. And if you heard Cold Hearted 1, this is the next phase in that series, Cold Hearted 2. Cold Hearted 1 was on Dream Chasers 4, I believe. Cold Hearted. So this is a great way to end the record. A great Meek Mill record. This is a traditional classic Meek Mill introspective record. And it just solidifies the album as an instant classic. That's all it does. You know? That's all. And it solidifies the album as an instant classic, y'all. So I hope y'all love my review. I went a little deep with it, you know what I'm saying? But that's what this channel is about. Going a little deep sometimes, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all want to hear me do other reviews of other albums that y'all may like and I haven't heard yet, or any type of album review that y'all want to listen to, or y'all want to hear from me, just let me know. Comment down below, then I'll make sure to do a review. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Cognition Fitness. Hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see y'all at the next video. Peace.